All right, it's been a minute, like a little bit of a minute. Camera died, graduations. I got busy. Plus, I decided to use my money for other stuff, like getting the rest of the stuff I needed for this. That is a Bessler 22C photo enlarger for both 35mm and medium format 6x6. And you know what? I got her back. I actually didn't get her fixed. I just bought a new body and transferred over all the good stuff, swapped stuff out. But I could not go without my favorite camera for the next couple of months just because I miss shooting it so much. The photo that it takes is when you put it on paper, photo paper, it just, you can't beat the way that it looks. And I really think that's the case with all of the film. Like, I personally don't like doing the digital printing thing. It just, I feel like it takes a lot of the grain out of my photos, even though you can adjust it for it. I very much like the idea of taking my art and reversing the process, taking my negatives and reversing the process and putting it all on paper and then scanning it. At least with the 35mm, and at least for now, that's going to try to be the goal. There's some other stuff happening, so I'm not sure how much of that physical I'm going to be able to do till after August, but I'm going to try to do as much of it as possible because it's just too much fun. We've been playing with it already. One of my wives from Nashville, one of mine from Big Bend Ranch, I have a medium format version of this. One of mine from Big Bend National Park, I also have a medium format version of this. One of my other prints we took down in Marfa area. I didn't, this was the first one we did. I didn't have the negative in there right. The shiny side was down. I wasn't doing it the way I was supposed to. That was with a higher contrast filter pass. One of hers from Nashville. One of mine from Corpus Christi. One of hers from Corpus Christi. And they are just spectacular. It just feels good. I like having total control, as I've said. And for me, that's what that's where the art is controlling my image all the way up until what you see. Sight glass to display glass. That's what I want. I'm not saying you have to do it that way. I develop people's roles for them all the time because they like the way that I hand develop my roles. They like the way the black and white comes out. I use one specific film. It's HP5. And some people have figured that out and started using HP5, and they send it to me to be developed, and then I send them the negatives back. I don't even scan it because I'm not after that to like create a digital anything of your stuff. I take it, I develop it, and then I send the negatives back and let you do what you want. Most people scan them. Lately, I've been using this for the 35mm, but even this loses a lot of the detail in the negatives because of the way it's designed. What the intended goal is with the medium format in this is I'm going to do everything on the paper and then scan it. Like I said, that's a little bit, it's a little bit more difficult with the medium format because of the 6x6 framing. You know, I have to cut the paper down, but that's not it. It's just it's all about logistics, really, in a way. So the 35mm, I share maybe 4 or 5 off of some rolls. So I'll print those 4 or 5, scan those, and then put them in an album. And I've got it both ways. The scanner, the Epson V600, will pick up the grain in the photo the way it's supposed to be shown, which is really the intended goal. I could do that with the medium format because the negative is larger and it has more light that passes through it. But I'd like to standardize that as well. That's probably a year off. I need more space, really. I just need to be able to spread stuff out so I'm not so cramped, which should be happening here soon. It's a journey. That's what it's all about, though, right? So we were in Five Below. My wife likes Five Below. They have these little Bob's Burger plushie things, and she's been trying to collect Louise. So we made a stop in there. I got to looking around. I noticed something sitting on the shelf. 2 things, actually. Well, my wife noticed the second one. But I saw this. 100 ISO 10 shots, probably not, but 10 shots. And it was sold with their 35 millimeter camera, which I kind of wanted to get. I don't know, I can't justify it. Do you guys even want to see what it looks like? Tell me in the comments below, I guess. I don't know. I'll get it if there's enough interest. Because it just, the whole thing, none of it makes sense to me. I shoot 36 frames for probably $5 total. That's the process, scan, and display to you guys. These guys have put 10 rolls or 10 exposures on a roll for $7. And I'm not going back to edit that. I do all these one shot because it's easier for me that way. This is respooled Kentmere Pan 100. I get it. They're selling to teens and kids and adults with these teens and kids. So maybe parents walking through and they see it. Oh, I bet my daughter or my son would love that camera and that film. Like I had it back when I was their age, if they're that old. It's most I could think as to why they would start doing it, because this is just not worth it. We're gonna shoot it, but it's not worth it. My Ilford HP5, I have got the cost down to about $5 a roll total because I bulk loaded. They don't even cut a leader on this film. It just take it. Oh, it's got 10. Throw it in there. Let's go. The problem with not having, I'm gonna have to cut it, which is fine. But it's you can't load this into most cameras, and most people aren't gonna know how to cut the leader to fit it into other cameras. It's really kind of deceptive marketing. I'm not a big fan of it, but this is what I'm gonna shoot it on. Samoka 35 too. This is I love this. I have a thing for obscure cameras. If you go to eBay, type in rare 35 millimeter cameras, that's mostly what I buy. My wife got me the Kia 4, but that's my favorite one. That's my favorite 35 millimeter because it's basically a Contax 2. The problem with that film is, even in this old Korean War era GI Marine and Navy sailor targeted camera from Japan that was meant to go after the Korean veterans of the Korean War as they were returning, even this has a leader set up. And this camera is like 60 something years old. And it works better than that one, I imagine. I don't know, because I didn't buy the camera. But we're going to shoot that roll in this. I'll cut the leader down later. We'll see what we get. I mean, this is what this camera does with Ilford HP5. See, that's not bad now, is it? This camera has more options than that too, and this only has 3 shutter speeds. You actually control most of the exposure from your aperture, and you can't even tell if this is focused unless you happen to know distance in meters by eyeballing it off the bat. So I just leave it in infinity and go from there. It's a pretty neat little camera. That's why I bought it. So yeah, I do these videos in one take because I don't know, editing isn't my thing necessarily. So I do the best I can. So that's the way you're going to keep getting them, is in one shot. So let me know what you think about that. The Five Below film, printing. Are there any of my photos you might want to see printed more over the other just to see what they look like? Let me know. Tell me what you're interested in seeing printed. Because that's what we're going to focus on for a little bit. Because it's new and it's fresh and it's awesome. And it's awesome. I finally have my own control over my art 100%. I love it. I love it. That's why I haven't printed much stuff. I printed some to hang in my office in my old job, and that was about it. Now I can start printing so I can go to farmers markets and all those kinds of stuff where people set up their stuff to sell. Oh, I can't wait. That's for like next year. We're going to work on that next year. We've got stuff going on this year. You'll see. Have a good week, guys. Enjoy it.